let's jump to the offensive side. And to start this one, I love this clip. One of the newest 49ers that I think everybody loves is Randy Gregory. That dude balled out on a limited snap, rate, and I hope it shoots up. I hope this dude gets 40 plus snaps this week and plays a lot. This is Randy Gregory on the Vikings offense.
They're situationally they play different sometimes throughout the years. I think last year they had trouble finishing some games. This year same deal. Kirk is Kirk. You give him time, he's going to dice you up. I think they have a real good running game. Played against Shaw, so I think highly of him. Haven't seen a lot on their defense, obviously, but they're just like any other team in the NFL. You give them enough space, they can make some plays. So got to be a little bit tighter in our form and our technique this week, especially against the run, and have a better outing this week.
Yeah, and so I like that assessment, and they are a good offense, and a lot of it is because of their tackles are great. Darrisaw is the number 1 rated tackle in Pro Football Focus, ahead of Trent Williams, and O'Neal, Brian O'Neal is their right tackle. He's 6th. Their center is 2nd, Bradbury. So they've got talent at the talent needed positions there. And so you've got the quarterbacks, you've got the wide receivers. They just can't run the damn ball. They are built a pass happy, pass protection team. They just can't run. So let's go through their ranks out of 32 teams. This is the Vikings offense. 17th in points, 12th in yards, 31st in turnovers. Kirk Cousins can't protect the ball, never has. 32nd in fumbles lost. They've lost 9 fumbles in 6 games. It's bad. 10th interception, 17th first downs, 3rd in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, also TJ Hawkinson. He's great. We'll talk more about him in a second. 32nd rush attempts. They abandoned the run game. 30th in rushing yards, 31st in rushing touchdowns. They're tied for dead last. They have 0. No rushing touchdowns. They don't run the ball. 27th third down percentage, 4th on 4th downs, though. So that's key. 19th in the red zone. So, you look at this offense, and it's just like, man, I don't understand. Because Darrisaw, I don't know, trade deadline's approaching less than 2 weeks away. And the Vikings are a sell team. That's just what it is. And I think Danielle Hunter is a for real possibility at defensive end. And yes, I want him, even though Gregory's been awesome. I'm done with Drake Jackson for this year. He needs to play 5 to 10 snaps minimum, or maximum. That's it. He's that bad. He's really bad. I think he was on the ground 7 times defensively in the game. He just gets pancaked every other play. I would like to get Danielle Hunter. Now, my dream, and everybody's like, oh, Patrick Surtain, or, go get Brian Burns and whatever else. That's cool. My dream would be Christian Darrisaw. I would trade multiple first rounders and pay him top of the line tackle money, put him at right tackle, even though I don't think the issue has been Colton McKivitz, but Darrisaw's that damn good. And then you slide him over, he's your long-term guy whenever Trent does retire, but I would give up the farm for Christian Darrisaw. I love that dude coming out of college, and he's been incredible. Here's a quick clip of Bosa when he was asked about Christian Darrisaw.
I haven't watched too much in the past game yet. He looks good in the run. He's one of the better turnout players that we played, and he's very athletic, big.
I love Nick Bosa. Just makes me laugh, man. He cracks me up. Talking Head, appreciate the super chat. I will say, we pointed out all the Cleveland deficiencies, explaining why they beat us. It's interesting. All Minnesota's games have been decided by 1 score. Yeah, I mean, this team last year and this year, they hang around. And so that's the Kirk Cousins MO. Even whenever he's good, he's going to give your team a chance to get back in the game because he just throws so many interceptions. I mean, he's terrible at protecting the ball, fumbles, whatever else. But the other side of the coin is, dude, if Kirk Cousins down 3 scores, that game's still competitive because he could throw lights out for consecutive times. It's just, man, when the pressure's on to win, that's where he comes up short. That's why Kirk Cousins in primetime has been so terrible. I'm serious. Betting against Kirk Cousins is putting my kids through college. It's going to. Because I've made so much money just betting against this dude in primetime. The problem is the spread is just too much. And so you bet the money line, it's not there either this week. So that's where it kind of hurts. But it's what it is. Now, their weaknesses, their running backs are terrible. Alexander Mattison, they bet on him being way better than Dalvin Cook, and he was great in a reserve role. He's been trash. He's been terrible all year. If we just look at his stats as far as just rush attempts, 82 attempts, 320 yards, 0 touchdowns. He's averaging under 4 yards a carry. It's just not good. Cam Akers, not good. Ty Chandler's been banged up. I think he's probably their best running back. They just don't have it, and they abandon it. And that's on the coach. You cannot abandon the running game and beat the 49ers. You're not going to go out there and throw the ball consistently with a turnover-prone quarterback and beat this team. You can't do it. Like that's you got to run the ball. The blueprint was set last week. You run the ball, screens, misdirection. That's how you do it. And that's not their offense. That's not what they do. It's a McVay scheme. So thank Rams. We see that all the time. We destroy that all the time. But with a worse quarterback and without any running game whatsoever. And they even went out and got Cam Akers, right? Like, it's the same scheme. Now, if we look at Cousins, negative EPA versus zone coverage. We play more zone than anybody. Their tendencies, 30% play action, 9% screens, 9% deep passes. If you look at their deep passes, ball traveling 20-plus air yards on a throw, 10 out of 22. So 10 completions on 22 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But almost all that was Jefferson. Almost all of that. Now, if we're looking at best matchups, TJ Hawkinson's incredible. They traded for him. Foundational piece. He's great. This is the Iowa tight ends. You know what I mean? Kittle. And then TJ Hawkinson. Like, they're the best of the best. And he is incredible. But Tayshaun Gibson has done really, really well against tight ends this year, especially Pat Freiermuth, Darren Waller. Now, Hawkinson's better than both those and closer to Freiermuth than he is Waller. Waller's just a big wide receiver. Hawkinson's incredible. So that's my fear. Justin Jefferson's out. Addison's going to make some plays. He generates space. Osborne, not too concerned. Powell is their slot guy now. Like, not having Justin Jefferson, everybody had to step up, and that's a problem because Jordan Addison's great at number 2. He's not a good number 1. Osborne's a good slot guy. He's not a good number 2. And Powell, we'll see. We'll see. It's problems. Now, back to the matchups. Hawkinson and Gibson's going to be fun as hell. Bosa versus Darisaw is the best matchup this game has. That is blue chip. That is incredible. I am so pumped to watch that. Fred Warner versus Kirk Cousins. Golly, man. That is... Fred's a shark. You know what I mean? Like, you give this dude an ounce of blood in the water, and it's just... He smiles. He loves the adversity. When we first got Fred, he was quiet. His press conferences were boring. And just every year, that dude just, you see the gif, right? His trash talk has just shot through the roof. His confidence, he's flexing on people. Fred against Kirk Cousins is hilarious to me because they're just the two opposite players. One's a gamer that has his best games when it matters most, and the other one is the exact opposite of that. It's the exact opposite of that. And so I'm pumped about this game. Chris says Kyle's going to have a heart attack if Fred hurts his crush Cousins. That is funny, man. I love that. Their scheme, it's blitz. It's just blitz. It's blitz and attack. And if they get beat, so be it. Break down the way in which Brian Flores operates his secondary is interesting. 71% zone coverage, one of the highest, 14% cover 0. That's most in the NFL. We played the Giants, and they blitzed like 35 times. They run cover 0 man blitz everybody 11%. This team 14.4%, so even more. And the Giants are second. Vikings are first. Cover 2, 30% of the time. Cover 3, 31%. We run both those. So there's nothing really new there. But listen to these blitz numbers because I can tell you percentages Listen to these numbers. Versus Chicago last week, they blitzed 26 times. Kansas City, 24. Carolina, 18. Against the Chargers, they blitzed 42 times. That was a crazy, crazy game. Philly, 16. Tampa Bay, 21. That's their blitz totals. And so, seems like the more mobile the quarterback, the less they blitz. I don't put Brock into the mobile blitz category near as much. And so, we'll see. Trey Hall, what's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. Is Purdy more than a system quarterback? Be honest, I think so. Well, this conversation is always weird to me because there's no time that we're ever going to see Brock Purdy outside of a system that he operates in. And I don't see the comment of a system quarterback as an insult. So, okay, what is the system? The outside zone heavy, quick passing, whatever. People want to call it West Coast, but Kyle wouldn't. He wouldn't call it that. Could he operate in a gap vertical attack scheme? Probably not. That's not his strength. Can he throw the deep ball? Yeah. So I don't know. Like, you put him on the Chiefs, could he do all the same things? Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, but I think the offense would flow. You put him on the Patriots, I think the offense would, you know what I mean? So I hate that question. There's so much to it, but I don't really care because he's in our system and we don't have to see him in somebody else's system. So I don't really care. And so I don't see it as an insult. I don't consider, we don't know. The world may never know. But I like Brock, and I'm totally cool with him, being around and being with us for the long term. Ed says the system quarterback talk is so inaccurate. Every quarterback plays in a system. Yeah, it's hard to divorce that. So unless you're bouncing around, but then you look at somebody like Aaron Rodgers, everybody adjusts their system to his strengths. So is it he a system quarterback, even though he can make every throw and whatever else? I get that. It's just a weird conversation for me. But I appreciate the question, Trey. And I would say this. Have the utmost confidence in Brock Purdy. If I could have Brock Purdy or Kirk Cousins, I'm taking Brock Purdy. If in the contract situation plays a lot into that, but if I was going to have the same amount of cap space used for Brock Purdy and for, Kirk Cousins, I'm still taking Brock Purdy. Because he protects the ball. Because he doesn't piss down his leg during primetime games. Kirk Cousins, dude's allergic to primetime and lights and pressure. That's not who Brock Purdy is, right? Trey, lastly, Nick Wright has a face that is easy to punch. Yeah, all love. That's what he said. I'm with you.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.